In this lesson, we will discuss classroom study habits that work. On completion of this lesson, the student should be able to describe positive classroom study habits, describe the components of effective listening, engage in effective note-taking, describe how to improve reading skills, prepare to study effectively using the SQRR method, and incorporate strategies to improve test taking. In a face-to-face classroom, you should attempt to sit as close to the board as you can. Unfortunately, not everyone can sit at the front. In the ASM program, we use assigned seats to make this more fair and give everyone a chance to sit at or near the front. If you are having trouble focusing or are prone to zoning out or daydreaming, review your notes from previous classes until you can focus on what is going on. If the instructor takes the time to write it on the board or say it a second time, take that as a clue and include it in your notes. There is a reason that they are emphasizing this information. Listening is a conscious activity and is not the same as hearing. Effective listening requires skill to assist in your learning. Before class, read or look over the material that will be covered that day. If an instructor gives you an assignment to assist in preparing you, get it done. Review the main points of the day in order to be more prepared. During class, watch the instructor. If they emphasize something, say it more than once, write it on the board, or point out that you need to review this, note the information. Stay positive. If you do not agree with the instructor or do not understand, write it down. Approach the instructor later or add to the discussion once the instructor has finished. Be an active participant. Ask questions. Don't leave class with unanswered questions unless instructed by the instructor to meet after class. And always remember, no email, phone, or social media during class. Immediately after class, review your notes and clarifying comments. Look for answers to questions that arose. Contact faculty if you have any questions you were unable to locate the answer to. Effective note-taking. Students do not always realize that note-taking is a must. In order to learn from what you have in class, you will need to be able to review and reflect on what was presented. To do this, you need effective note-taking skills. Before class, again, read and prepare for what is being presented. Have note paper and highlighters with you and ready. If you are using a computer, make sure it is charged and ready. During class, paraphrase or develop your own method of shorthand in order to document what was said. Write legibly, but it does not have to be perfect. Use underlining, highlighting, stars, or other methods to document what the instructor has emphasized. Take as many notes as possible. In your book, there is a list of common verbal signals that instructors might use to emphasize important information. Immediately after class, review your notes. Look for any information that was unclear and ask about it. Compare your notes with a classmate. Read over your notes and compare to the information in your book. Develop your own test questions to review later. During college, your reading skills will improve. In the ASM program, we have been asked, do I have to buy the textbook? We try hard to understand why you asked that question, as the answer is an emphatic yes. We will now discuss some techniques that will help you become an effective reader. Maintaining concentration. When reading, you are in an area that will allow you to focus on your reading. Do not read in front of the TV. Minimize distractions. You will often have to make an effort to concentrate and engage. While reading, think of questions that you might ask the author if you could. Write these down as these will assist you with concentration. Identifying main ideas. Try to identify the main concept or topic of the information that you are reading. Watch for cues as you skim before going back and reading the information in depth. Look for material in boxes or tables. Many test questions come from these areas. Relating details to the main idea. Once you have identified your main concept or topic, look for supporting information regarding the topic. Don't try to memorize every single word. This doesn't assist you with learning the topic. Relate the supporting ideas back to your main topic. How does these ideas support the topic? If you find words that are confusing, write them down. Go back later and look them up. Make sure you identify the major details related to the topic. Focus on these for your studying. Highlighting appropriately. Read before you highlight. If you highlight the first time, you may highlight the whole section. Paraphrase certain sentences. This will help you as you put the material into your own words. Highlight no more than 20% of the material. Use different ways of highlighting or emphasize materials: circles, asterisks, underlines, stars, or arrows. Regularly review the highlighted material. Improving reading speed. Reading speed is directly related to understanding and comprehension. Be aware of the inhibitory factors of reading. There is a box in your book that will describe these factors. Learn habits that will improve your reading. There is also a box in your book to help with these habits. Do not become frustrated when you have read a passage more than once in attempt to understand. This is common and a good practice to assist with learning. Skimming and scanning. In order to focus on the main ideas of the reading assignments, first skim the text to identify the main concepts or ideas that you need to focus on. This practice improves retention of major concepts, ideas, and ideals. Improving your study skills. A method of studying that has been used for quite some time is the SQRR method. Step 1. Survey or skim the material. Read the headings and the subheadings. Look for bold words in order to capture the main ideas. Step 2. Make questions out of the headings and subheadings. Write a question for each of the main ideas in the chapter. Answer these questions without turning to the book. Go back and ensure your understanding of the answer was correct. Review any unfamiliar terms. Step 3. Read the first assigned section of the book. In this program, not all information in every chapter may be assigned. Compare the answer to the question you composed. Write out the answer again in your own words. Recite. Step 4. In your own words, recite your answer to the question. Continue to recite the answer until you have the response correct. Step 5 is review. Review the information daily. Early review is more efficient and productive. Follow the steps in your book. More study strategies. For every hour of class, spend 2 to 3 hours studying. Start with the most difficult or boring subjects. Short but frequent studying sessions are more productive. Get up early. Most people are more productive before 9 a.m. Don't waste your waiting times. If you're having to wait at a car wash or get your oil changed or at the pediatrician's office or at the doctor's office, use these times to study. Tape the lecture. You can play it back anytime you need. Avoid distractions and study in groups. Finding the balance. While it is very important that you put a lot of time into your schoolwork, it is also important that you find a balance between schoolwork and your personal life. Find time for your family. Keep healthy through appropriate diet and exercise. And also, spirituality is important. Test taking skills. There are different types of questions. There are structured response questions. There are also 3 types of structured response questions, such as multiple choice, true false, and matching. There's also restricted response question. Examples of restricted response questions are completion or fill in the blank and short answer. You may also have essay questions. There are no essay questions on the NCLEX exam. Part of a test question. The STEM. The STEM asks the question or presents the problem with any conditions that apply. It may be in the form of a complete or incomplete sentence. It may either be positive or negative in nature. A positive STEM is used to determine if the test taker understands the information and is able to take appropriate actions. A negative STEM asks about something that is false. With a negative STEM, look for words such as not, except, or contraindicated. A STEM may also be used to identify a priority. Make sure you understand what the object of the question is. We will discuss more about how to understand test questions in the NCLEX lessons. Question options. There are either correct option and distractors. Distractors are created to distract the test taker from the correct answer. They are written to allow the student to use critical thinking. Universal advice for optimal test performance. Preparedness is the main word to remember. Prepare your mind, body, and spirit by following a routine in the days before the test. Get plenty of rest and eat a well-balanced diet. Don't stay up all night the night before an exam. This rarely produces the best results on the exam. Reduce anxiety by allowing enough time on the day of the exam to get to school on time. Immediately before the exam, take this time to relax and collect your thoughts before beginning. Read each question thoroughly. At OTC, you will be given 1 question at a time. For each 50-question exam, you will be given 1 hour and 15 minutes. If the option is available, review each question that you did not get correctly once you've obtained your score. If you must wait, as soon as the exam is reopened for review, review your answers to determine the reason you might have gotten any missed questions wrong. Remember, the human brain is awesome. It functions 24 hours a day from the day we are born and only stops when we are taking an exam or falling in love. I like this. This is kind of ironic. Actually, the best advice for success, including exam, comes from Venus Williams. Just believe in yourself. Even if you don't, pretend that you do, and at some point, you will. This is a test question. An LPN is taking a multiple choice test and reads the following. The nurse is about to begin a sterile dressing change with the patient. The patient has an infected wound. The patient has family in the room. The first three actions the nurse would take in order are. Well, this is a question, and what this is asking is which part of this question is the stem? Which part is actually the question? And then this answer, is it the first three actions the nurse would take are in order are, is it the patient has family in the room, is the patient has an infected wound, or is it the nurse is about to begin a sterile dressing change with the patient? The stem of this question, the actual question, is number one. The first three actions the nurse would take in order are. This is the question. We will learn more about how to take a test and the parts of a test question in the NCLEX lesson of this unit.